Welcome back to my channel Motor Master USA. To clear up that McLaren wasn't even producing road cars back in 1980. The McLaren brand was solely focused on racing, dominating Formula One with legendary cars and drivers. The iconic McLaren F1 road car wouldn't come along until 1992. So, the idea of a McLaren 720S from 1980 is purely hypothetical. But let's play with that concept for a moment. What if McLaren had made something like the 720S in the early 80s? Imagine a car that would have looked like a spaceship compared to the boxy, angular designs of the era. In the 1980s, supercars were muscular and brutish, like the Lamborghini Countach and Ferrari 512 BB. A hypothetical McLaren 720S would have completely shattered perceptions with its sleek, aerodynamic lines and futuristic curves. The dihedral doors alone would have been enough to drop jaws. Under the hood, well, that's where things get even more intriguing. The real McLaren 720S sports a 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 that churns out 710 horsepower and 568 lb-ft of torque. In 1980, those numbers would have been mind-blowing. To put it into perspective, the Ferrari 512 BB, one of the most powerful supercars of that era, only made around 360 horsepower. That means a 720S from 1980 would have been nearly twice as powerful as its most formidable competitor. Of course, engineering a twin-turbo V8 back then would have been a colossal challenge. Turbocharging technology wasn't nearly as advanced or efficient as it is today. Turbo lag was a common issue, and reliability was a constant struggle. So, a McLaren 720S from the 1980s would likely have been less refined and more unpredictable, a true beast that demanded respect. Then there's the chassis. The real 720S features a carbon fiber monocoque, making it incredibly lightweight and rigid. But in 1980, carbon fiber was almost exclusively used in Formula One, and it was far from being implemented in road cars. If McLaren had tried to build the 720S back then, they might have opted for a lightweight aluminum chassis instead. This would have affected the car's weight and handling dynamics, making it heavier and less agile compared to today's version. Let's not forget the tech. The modern 720S boasts an advanced suspension system that adapts to driving conditions, alongside a digital cockpit and an array of driver aids. In 1980, that sort of tech was science fiction. At best, a retro 720S might have had basic analog gauges and a mechanical suspension system, stiff, harsh, and ready to punish you for any mistake. The driving experience would have been raw and visceral, no electronic aids, no traction control, just pure mechanical fury. Drivers would have needed immense skill to tame it, especially with all that power pushing through a lightweight frame. Imagine tackling tight corners without the benefit of modern stability systems, feeling every inch of the road through a manual gearbox and unassisted steering. It would have been a wild ride. Aesthetically, the 720S's aerodynamic profile would have been ahead of its time. The car's active aerodynamic elements and flowing body lines would look like something straight out of a sci-fi film. In an era when sharp edges and aggressive angles dominated supercar design, the smooth, almost liquid form of a 720S would have seemed alien. The public's reaction, enthusiasts might have been divided. Some would have loved the futuristic approach, while purists might have questioned whether such a car truly belonged on the road or belonged more to the racetrack. It would have been a sensation at car shows and racetracks alike, polarizing opinions and challenging norms. In the end, the McLaren 720S is not just a car, it's a statement of what's possible when vision meets technology. And while it never could have existed in 1980, it's exciting to imagine just how mind-blowing it would have been if it did. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this thought experiment, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more intriguing automotive content. Let me know in the comments what other cars or eras you'd like me to explore next.